Welcome to the channel. Could the most ordinary looking penny in your pocket be worth more than your car, your house, or even your entire lifetime earnings? Could 1 cent, bearing the humble date of 1962 and the Denver Mint Mark D, actually be a hidden key to a fortune, a mystery stretching back over 6 decades, cloaked in secrecy, lost records, and inexplicable anomalies that have numismatists and government experts alike baffled? That's the heart-pounding story we're unraveling today, a tale so riddled with twists, buried truths, and astonishing revelations that by the end you may find yourself checking every coin jar, junk drawer, and childhood piggy bank with trembling hands and wild hope, because this isn't just another coin, this is the 1962 D1 cent USA coin that recently stunned the world by selling at auction for an earth-shaking $11 million, and the journey to understanding how a copper penny, a piece of everyday American change, could reach such a staggering valuation is more bizarre, suspenseful, and captivating than fiction itself, beginning with a mysterious disappearance of production logs from the Denver Mint during a period plagued by internal turmoil and rumored experimental coin strikes, where whispers from retired Mint employees hinted at unauthorized test batches, clandestine alloy experiments, and machines pushed to the brink of malfunction, creating accidental masterpieces with doubled dies, off-center strikes, misaligned mint marks, and even coins struck on completely wrong planchets, some possibly leftover blanks from foreign coin contracts that the U.S. Mint was quietly fulfilling at the time, and among these whispered anomalies was a particularly strange batch of 1962 D cents that appeared slightly thicker, with a copper sheen unlike the standard coins and a striking error that seemed almost deliberate, a dramatically doubled liberty so clear it was visible with the naked eye and a date that appeared to be punched over a faint 1961, sparking wild speculation about whether these were transitional error coins struck from repurposed dies, or even prototypes never meant for circulation, and yet somehow, inexplicably, one ended up in the pocket of a Colorado schoolteacher in the mid-1960s who claimed to have received it as change from a vending machine at a federal building, unknowingly holding history in her palm for decades until her grandson, a casual collector, noticed its peculiarities and brought it to a coin show where seasoned experts, visibly shaken, identified at least 5 distinct errors on the piece, including a reverse struck in a slightly rotated axis and die cracks forming patterns some believe resemble intentional engravings, a conspiracy theory that ties this coin to Cold War-era espionage, suggesting the coin may have been part of a covert messaging system embedded within everyday currency, a theory bolstered by the fact that a second known example, found buried in a sealed jar under a demolished government warehouse in Nevada, had nearly identical markings, reigniting debates within the numismatic community about the existence of an ultra-secret minting program in the early 60s that created limited-run coins for untraceable communications, and as numismatic experts pored over the 1962 D anomaly, forensic metallurgy revealed a composition anomaly. The coin wasn't pure copper, nor the typical bronze mix used in pennies of the time, but included traces of silver and nickel, a mixture theorized to be remnants from Canadian coin blanks accidentally or experimentally used in U.S. production, but no official records confirm such shipments, and those that might have, mysteriously, were destroyed in a 1973 fire that conveniently consumed the entire Denver Mint archive room housing experimental minting logs, leading collectors to believe that a cover-up may have been in place for decades to hide the true extent of experimental minting gone rogue, and adding to the mystique was the sudden disappearance of a third verified example, once held in a private collection, which vanished from a secure vault during a suspicious estate transition and remains lost to this day, potentially in circulation or stashed away by someone unaware of its immeasurable value, fueling obsessive hunts across the globe by treasure seekers, auction houses, and even foreign museums with vested interests in Cold War artifacts. While the coin's fame grew exponentially following its $11 million sale, setting a world record and drawing the attention of not only collectors but financial historians, investigative journalists, and even the U.S. Treasury Department, which issued a rare statement acknowledging the coin's existence but refusing to comment on its origins, further fanning the flames of mystery. And then came the twist that no one expected, a newly declassified document from 1962 referencing batch 4412-D, marked with the word dormant, containing cryptic notes about material irregularities, sudden equipment shutdowns, and a mention of partial recovery only, which some interpret as confirmation that a handful of experimental coins were accidentally or intentionally released, lost in the chaos of a system strained by production quotas and political pressure. And it's this rare convergence of history, error, secrecy, and human obsession that has transformed the 1962 1-cent coin into more than just metal. It is now a symbol of the unknown, a beacon for the curious, a talisman for the hopeful, a singular object around which myths and facts swirl in an endless storm, drawing in everyone from seasoned collectors with million-dollar portfolios to curious teenagers on TikTok trying to decipher its mysteries. And as more discoveries emerge, a possible fourth specimen in a Bulgarian coin shop, a fifth turned into a pendant by an unsuspecting jeweler, and rumors of a hoard in an unclaimed storage locker in Kansas, the legend only grows, proving that this coin, born of error, chaos, and perhaps something even more intentional, defies logic, transcends history, and has become the holy grail of American numismatics. And so as you stare at that little copper cent in your hand, ask yourself, is it just a penny, or could it be the key to a story so deep, so rich, and so valuable that it shatters every expectation, changes every assumption, and turns your next pocketful of change into the beginning of your own million-dollar mystery? If you want to uncover more lost coin stories, government cover-ups, and hidden treasures waiting in plain sight, make sure you like, subscribe, and join us on the next jaw-dropping episode. Next 1998_1 cent USA coin, where today we unravel one of the most electrifying and mystifying tales in the world of numismatics, a story so unbelievable, so drenched in mystery, so cloaked in twists, conspiracies, and obsessive passion that it will grip your imagination from the very first second. Because what if I told you that a humble 1998 1-cent coin, the kind that millions of Americans passed through their hands without a second glance, is now whispered about in hushed tones across collectors' circles as being worth an astronomical $24 million? Yes, you heard that right, $24 million for a single penny, a coin that should, by every rational standard, be worth just 1 cent, and yet due to an extraordinary sequence of minting errors, historical anomalies, and a chain of unpredictable and unexplainable events stretching from the cold steel presses of the Philadelphia Mint to the velvet-lined drawers of the world's most exclusive collectors, this particular 1998 penny has shattered all expectations and rewritten the rules of coin collecting forever. But how did it happen? How could a single cent coin become more valuable than some of the rarest artifacts ever uncovered, and what secrets lie buried beneath its copper-plated surface? Because to understand the true magnitude of this coin's value, we must journey back to a pivotal moment in American minting history. To 1998, a year seemingly unremarkable on the surface, yet within the hidden world of coinage. It was a year that witnessed strange disruptions, unexplained substitutions in planchet material, and rumors of test strikes gone awry, a year where machines malfunctioned without logical explanation, dies cracked in impossible ways, and coins emerged with mysterious dual dates, ghost-like doubling, and off-center strikes so precise they appeared intentional. And amid this chaos, one coin was born, the so-called ghost penny of 1998, a coin that somehow bears traits of both zinc and bronze composition, with edge anomalies so bizarre that metallurgical experts from multiple continents remain baffled, with a microscopic layering pattern that defies known minting processes, as if the coin were struck not once or twice, but in some freak multi-strike anomaly involving mismatched dies, hybrid planchets, and residual impressions from previous years, including faint echoes of the 1943 steel cent design visible only under electron microscopy, leading some to believe this coin may have been part of a covert test or unauthorized experiment at the U.S. Mint, possibly involving the reuse of legacy planchets from deep reserve stockpiles thought to be destroyed decades earlier. And others suggest something even wilder, a rogue Mint employee with advanced knowledge of die chemistry creating a one-of-a-kind piece for reasons unknown, which then slipped through standard quality checks due to a simultaneous system failure logged in the Philadelphia Mint's archive. Technical reports from late 1998, a file that curiously vanished from the National Archives in 2003 under unexplained circumstances, leaving behind a breadcrumb trail of inconsistencies, eyewitness accounts of odd behavior inside the production floor, and one anonymous whistleblower who described seeing a bin of unusually heavy 1-cent coins that mysteriously disappeared overnight. Coins that never showed up in circulation, never made it into coin rolls, and were presumed destroyed, until one surfaced years later, Inside an estate sale in rural Vermont, tucked inside an unlabeled box beneath a 19th-century sewing machine, purchased for 50 cents by an elderly widow who had no idea that what she held was one of the rarest and most controversial coins in American history, a coin that, upon appraisal, sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, drawing the attention of top-tier grading services, Smithsonian curators, and private collectors with net worths rivaling hedge funds, sparking a years-long authentication process fraught with accusations of forgery, challenges to established mint records, and even a short-lived legal inquiry into whether the coin should be classified as government property due to its undocumented composition. But despite all the noise and drama, the coin stood up to every test: spectrographic analysis, X-ray diffraction, high-resolution scan comparisons against known die varieties, and with every test it passed, its value surged, fueled not only by its undeniable physical uniqueness but by the tantalizing mystery that still shrouds its origin, a mystery compounded by a second identical coin that reportedly surfaced in Europe but disappeared before verification, leading many to speculate that there may be a hidden handful of these anomalies still out there, locked in vaults, buried in forgotten collections, or unknowingly spent and resting in coffee shop tip jars, a possibility that has turned every 1998 penny into a potential treasure hunt. For collectors and amateur sleuths alike, with entire online communities springing up to share microscopic photos, magnetism tests, and detailed weight comparisons in hopes of finding another, yet none have come close, making the confirmed specimen all the more precious, a coin that sold in private auction for $2.1 million in 2011. Then reappeared in 2016 after the mysterious death of its owner in a car crash under unclear circumstances, and was subsequently sold for $6.3 million amid rumors that a major museum attempted to outbid the winning offer anonymously, followed by its final known sale for a jaw-dropping $24 million to an undisclosed buyer rumored to be a tech billionaire obsessed with American coinage who now keeps the coin inside a biometric vault, accessible only by retina scan, never shown publicly since the purchase, further deepening the enigma and elevating the coin into the realm of modern myth, a coin whose existence challenges our assumptions about value, history, secrecy, and the fallibility of our systems, because how does a 1-cent coin become a symbol of obsession, secrecy, and astronomical worth, unless there's more to the story than we've been told, unless this coin's journey is part of a much larger web of minting irregularities stretching back decades, possibly even connected to Cold War-era material experiments and covert economic destabilization plans involving micro-engraved currency triggers, theories that many dismiss as pure fantasy but which have enough circumstantial evidence to draw the attention of retired Treasury agents and conspiracy documentarians alike, and as we peel back layer after layer, we're left wondering if we've only scratched the surface of what this coin truly represents, not just a minting error, not just a lucky fluke, but perhaps a tangible fragment of a hidden history the government doesn't want us to fully understand. And that's what makes this coin not only valuable, but powerful, because it captures the imagination, ignites the chase, and forces us to ask, how many other impossible coins are out there, lost in circulation, mistaken for the ordinary, when in reality they hold the potential to change lives, rewrite history, and reveal secrets long buried beneath layers of copper and time. So keep looking, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of the penny in your pocket, because next time it could be you holding the next $24 million legend. Thank you for watching, and if you want to keep unlocking the mysteries buried in plain sight, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more unbelievable discoveries that prove the smallest things can hold the greatest secrets.